asked that, you're all married and you'll work together, you'll stay together. How do you all manage the work? Does it come home? And are there fights, arguments? Does it affect the personal life? And I want to know today I'm feeling so good. I'm able to ask someone else these questions. I'd like to know from both of you all. So, Prateek, I want to know from you, is it good? Is it difficult? Or it becomes more easier being husband and wife and working together on a project, on your dream, on the entire idea? So, what's your thought on working couples?
I think it's definitely a lot of fun. There's obviously good pros and cons to each of it.
Just assume she's not listening. You can say the cons also.
So I'll talk about the cons first. I think sometimes just, especially when you're working from home and you're working with your partner, if he's at the work, it never ends.
Right.
And it becomes a little hard to get like that work-life balance. You tend to always bring your work home, it's always at home. So I think that can be a challenge of just when you turn off, when you now be husband-wife.
Mm-hmm.
So like sometimes we'll joke with her, like if we had a fight at work, then I'll come back and say, listen, you forgot your co-founder right now. I'm your husband, so be mad at Prateek, the co-founder. Prateek, the husband, is not anything. But the pros are also huge. I think it's so easy to work with someone where there's no ego, where there's no fighting over equity or fighting over any of that. It's just in the end, so you don't sit and stress about all that. You can really be who you are.
I think for me, co-founders need to have a lot of trust in between each other. And if you've just met somebody and you're trying to start a business with them, it can be very challenging, and you're always thinking about what that person's intention is, or are they really honest or trustworthy. But in marriage, you've already established that trust, which is such a big foundation of working with someone. So I'm never going to expect that he's doing something behind my back, in business, because I've established that trust. I think it's a very, you fight on things knowing that you will resolve it because you're married, and you treat each other as equals because you're also equals in a marriage.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, before meeting you all on the way from Pune, I had a certain image on how you might be. I usually don't tend to judge or form assumptions, but you guys are more so much rooted and down to earth and grounded, and it just feels so welcoming. I mean, very few people are, because the heights or the things that you all are doing. It's very rare to find that groundedness in the roots. I think this is what is Indianness and Indian culture, and what you guys are doing, especially in fashion technology, not happening at a large scale in the world. Do you think India and this product that you all are doing, especially India, does it have a chance that we can take our products global, be out there and make a mark? Where people always refer to the Western brands. Oh, this, I want to work here. Do you think can India take this there, fashion technology, especially startups, and how?
Absolutely. I think so far Indian engineers would go to the US and work there and create products. I think if we can, what was lacking in India and what is lacking across Indian industry. I mean, we make great leather products, but everyone knows Italy for that product, right? Because we are not very good marketeers. So if we can market our technology, worldwide, then we can actually produce technology in India and sell it outside. So I think that's something that we intend to definitely take.
What's your take on that? That if you want to take India global, and especially this sector where we talk about this, fashion and India was never hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
But in this sector, and especially plugging in technology to that, and also not forgetting the sustainability part to it, do you think can we take this global where in the West we can barge it's an Indian startup or it's an Indian? What's your take on that?
I think fashion especially is one of those things which is very merit-based. Today, tomorrow, if you make, I think that's what every Indian company should focus on, any company should focus on, is just being the best. Whatever you do, if you're making a product, make it the best and product, not just in India, but in the whole world. And that should be the focus. Compete on quality, and I think that's the main thing that matters. today I think that's what's holding us back. But today we try and be the best product in India, and but by being the best product in the world, that's when we can start shipping and exporting things to the world.
I think the quality is the most
Yeah.
important.
Even if you look at apparel, I think quality is where we always sort of fail, even in B2B orders. I think that's something India needs to develop. The professionalism with which China delivers is
Right.
Quality of doing business.
commendable,
I
yes.
think that's not
commendable.
the
I think that, you know, whatever we may say about, I think the way they treat you, with the professionalism without knowing your language, we need to learn that.
It's quality of doing business, I guess, also not just quality of
The
the product, right?
responsiveness. I think if you write to a production facility in India, you're not going to get a response. You are the buyer, but you will call the factory 10 times to get your product. I think it should be the other way around.
I think a lot of things need to change from the grassroots levels itself.
Yeah.
And so, for example, today, if any of the youngsters, younger generation is watching you and they want to get into sustainable fashion, and because a lot of youngsters now don't want to work for money, they want to
Yeah.
work for an impact.
Yeah.
And if probably a 15-year-old you was supposed to give both of you all, I want to know, give an advice to them that they just got out of college. A lot of students are age of 20, 21 looking to create an impact. But they'll be told like what is all India में ऐसा नहीं होता है, वैसा नहीं होता है, and fashion the hard way, you should have connects, you should have this, technology funds आसानी से नहीं मिलते, all the things which keep on telling you why should you not do it. But if you want to give an advice to a younger generation, what would you give? Probably you learned the hard way, so what would that be?
I think one thing for sure I've learned is that you can build and create and have anything you want, but you just have to focus and narrow what you want to do, which is very difficult for young people because they are still forming their mind, right? They are a little bit uncertain that they want to do A, B, or C, and which brings them to a situation where they are still experimenting. I think to find your calling, to focus on finding your calling in a short early span of time and then focus on building upon that is always easier. I think I'm glad that by the time Okai happened, I had like maybe 6 years of my career behind me, which is not bad, right? Which is like, okay, it's still early enough. But I focused on trying out to do many things and try and experiment. I think if I had started any earlier, maybe I wouldn't have been as successful because maybe I didn't have the connections of corporate India. I think it helps to work somewhere which is a very beautiful culture, which is a beautiful place to make friends and connections. Because when you do end up starting something, you are already in a very, very good position to be able to do that, to make a difference. So I would also encourage to be very selective in your first jobs on where you work.
Absolutely. I think focus is something which is missing.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to do everything.
Yeah. It's very difficult to focus. And it's tempting, even today everything is tempting. I'm sure you want to work in fashion and I want to work in energy.
I don't want to.
Let's switch. So, it is tempting when you hear of something, it's like, hey, this is exciting, but it will always be.
I think you've got a great piece, and that's exactly what I believe in. Narrow down your focus.
Yeah.
You can scale it.
Yeah.
What's your advice?
Yeah, I think just contrary actually, I would say to Kirti's advice, sometimes it is tough for people to pick what you want to work on. I've worked in so many different industries in my career, right? Through product-based companies, service-based companies, gaming, B2B. But there's definitely an advantage to be gained from compounding growth of being in focus and laser focus. At the same time, it's okay if you don't know what you want to do. I think have a learning mindset. Be okay, I'm in this particular space, I'm just going to learn as much as I can. A lot of it carries forward in life, right? And but obviously you can't switch every 6 months, that's also too much. Give yourself the time to sort of at least figure things out and continue to go from there. And I think just be hungry.
So, looking at your zeal and your enthusiasm for what you all are doing, how do you keep yourself motivated? And are there days where you feel I don't want to do? Of course, there are days where in everyone's life when you just want to switch off and not do what you're doing. But keeping that love for what you're doing constantly, yet thinking of creating one more business, and not leaving that impact part. Your roots I see is coming from impact, and you want to serve something which is larger than you, and yet making a business out of it. So it's not an NGO, right? You're also going to make a business plus an impact. So what motivates to do all this? Where does the energy come from?
I think one definitely is that we feel very strongly for the problem, right? Every time you go, even if you go on a holiday, like forget Bombay, the hidden part of the mountain will have garbage on it. You will be swimming with a milk packet. So you realize that this is something that is required and meaningful. I just saw a video of somebody pulling a sari out of Mahim Beach. It's there. These are products that have been discarded by us, right? So I think the larger scheme of things, if that is your main reason for doing what you're doing, and then the problem keeps reminding you that you're doing the right thing and you need to keep doing it.
Okay.
And in short term, I think the results really excite me. So sales really excites me. I think every transaction means so much.
I can clearly see that every customer is so important.
Yeah.
What motivates you? That one thing which you can leave everything for?
One thing, I think it's what Kirti said. You have to celebrate the small things. So like every and because it compounds over time, and eventually you have like a big win. But day to day, you might feel like, oh, what am I doing? It's not working. This challenge, that problem, this problem, that problem. But I think you have to like really also take the time out to celebrate. Today you're getting 2 orders a day. Tomorrow you keep getting 2 orders, you'll be like, now I want 5.
Yeah.
And then 5, okay, now I want 50. So
Never ends.
it never ends, right? But I think you have to have that gratitude mindset that, okay, remember I'm getting 50 today, I was getting 2 yesterday. It will grow in the future, and if you need that sort of patience to say, okay, let's keep at it.
When I meet new people and entrepreneurs, I like decoding why are they successful. And one of the things that I found from you all is, there's a quote you say take Quran, Bible or Gita or any religious or any, it says that if you are grateful to what you have, you'll be given more. And if you're not grateful, whatever you have will be taken away from you. And our foundation of Repos and me and Chetan is so strongly on this. I don't know, there's some reason that I really connect to what you all are saying. And before, just jumping, I want to know what is that one annoying factor about him in business that you feel like, what is this? Yeah, it really annoys you. So, because we're coming to an end and you all might want to fight in the room, but I want to know, what is the one thing about him?
So I think, to be honest, we don't have that many arguments. We are very, I think respectful in the way we conduct our business and the way we actually argue is very respectful. It's very, there's never a very big fight. It's a very, easy process. I think the most annoying thing is that he likes to work alone. So in his room, and I'm one of those who like, let's sit together on the computer. I handle the mouse, you handle the keyboard. No, that's extreme. I'm just like, I'm emoting what we did like college, where one computer was shared between people. But I love working together because I'm very extroverted and he's introverted. So I love together, like brainstorm together, like let's do it together.
I think that's that part about an annoying.
Yeah, I think that would probably be like the point of sort of friction for us, where like, okay, these are our tasks. I'll go and meet up tomorrow, and let's see if like she's like brainstorm together, and she likes to bounce ideas off people. I think in a way it's good because as a company you get the best of both worlds. You get like the person who bounces and who's extroverted and gets ideas from outside. Whereas I'm able to sort of lock me in a room and come up with that idea. Then she'll talk 10 people and come up with anything.
That's interesting. And if you have to tell one good quality or the biggest strength that you contributes to the business in paper, what would that be?
I think I have picked one. I think I'm just amazed how she can get people to do what she wants. And not just internally or even externally. She's able to just like get people to like her and smoothen things over and get into sort of any room that she wants in any world. And just find anyone and be like, I need to connect at this company. She's like, "No, ho jayega." And I'll be like, how? Like, you know.
Wow. And about him,
I think his ability to be conduct his work with a very high level of integrity in a very systematic manner. I envy that his mailbox has only 4 emails at a time or 5 emails because everything else is in perfect boxes.
wow.
And that translates into conducting and running the entire organization, right? That needs that systematic reviews with everybody, one-on-ones with everybody, which like I struggle to be so systematic at work. And I really admire like how he's able to be so thorough with his work. The product that he's built, Relove, if you go through using the technology on any of the websites, you will realize how beautifully thought through it is that women in Bihar, in Guna, who are uncomfortable with writing an email in English, are using the technology flawlessly. They are uploading the pictures, they are submitting their listings without any issues. So I think he's an excellent product manager who understands how technology doesn't need to be only a code, but the copy, what they say, what is the color of the button, everything has to be so deeply thought through, coming from the isolation of his room.
So, just to understand, I saw the logo of Relove. Whose idea, whose ideation was it? No.
So we
It
definitely
was really
work,
something
3 of us
unique.
work along with a very talented designer. And I think we spent the longest time just building the brand.
Very
Because
nice.
for us it was very critical on how to build a recognizable logo that will tomorrow become the logo for reuse in the country, right? So even the other business that we built, we kept the same logo. It should be recalled as the solution for reusing and not throwing.
So, it's a collaborative idea.
Yeah, I think it was definitely our favorite designer who we worked with, and then of course Prateek and I, all 3 of us are designed, we have design very integrated in the way we approach anything.
Okay. So, my one last question would be, I think Relove was started just in 21 November, right?
Yeah.
So, what is it that, what dream are you chasing from here? What's your big picture, like 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line? Where do you all want this to go across the globe? What is it? How many people you're like impacting? Or you're planning like Mr. Elon Musk, you're also planning on some other planet. I want to know what's your big dream and what exactly are you chasing from now?
I would say that every item sold in the world should be resold.
Wow.
So every single website, every single product ever sold.
You know, I've never used any reused clothes, but knowing the philosophy behind and the facts behind it really helps, to understand. So I am actually going to
Try it out.
I'm going to try it out.
You won't even be able to tell the difference.
You won't be able to tell the
Really?
difference. I should show you. I just opened my parcel. I ordered a second-hand swimming costume.
Oh,
Now she's bought it. Okay, the lady bought it, and she realized that it's not for her body. So she kept it in her wardrobe. Beautiful color, beautiful product. So she's not used it. She's tried it on. Which happens in any store you go to, right? So there's no harm in me buying it and washing it. It's a product, right? I mean, I can wash it and wear it.
What is your dream for this? Is it same or what have you thought?
Yeah, but I would say not in 10, 20, 30 years, I think you can get 25.
Yeah.
That is.
I think the hard work is already done. We are now in the scale-up zone.
So, coming up to the scale up zone, what is your one advice to everyone out there who's using funds? So what's that one advice going to be for both? Is one piece of advice because everyone is struggling with this. And
Yeah.
since you're going through it, and you all have already seen all these things, one piece of advice if I'm raising funds.
I mean, I wouldn't say we're particularly either of our strong suits here, but I think the main advice I would say is you get money when you don't need it. So if your business is doing great, you don't need the money, you're growing, and you're not sort of desperate that, oh my god, if I don't raise funds, I'm going to sink. Or focus on your business basically. Like, if your business is doing good, you get the money. Don't make fundraising the main sort of agenda for your, or, a lot of people start that. Like, I'm going to start a company, I'm going to start fundraising. Focus on actual business and the funds will follow.
Absolutely, I believe in that. Great. And I think you all also have a poll. What does your routine look like day to day? Everyone's like, because since you're husband, wife, working together, entrepreneurs, what's your routine? I mean, how do you all manage everything and yet balance the work, life, relations? Do you all meditate? Because you all both look very calm, very sorted, like this is what I want, 1, 2, 3, I don't need this. So I want to know the secret behind the calmness.
So I think our day starts maybe around 9 or so, not very early. We wake up, do our breakfast and general things. Work day starts at 10 and then we work till around 7. After 7, usually we'll try and get a workout in. Sort of, either if I'm making dinner, make dinner, and just sort of take some time off there for ourselves. And then after dinner, usually then we try and stop not work after dinner, but then sometimes we try to get something happens over there as well. And then usually it's there's meditation and journaling at night, and if we're reading at night, I end up reading a book.
So do you cook?
I cook. Cooking for me is also like meditation.
Oh.
I feel it's like it's just you're going through the process of it, and then you're not worried about this thing. You're just sort of making the best product.
So, of course, cooking, especially husband and wife. Second, I wanted to just know, when Kirti has taken her career and applied to a level, and then started with this, does it ever somewhere hit you that, oh, my wife is so successful, she's all out there? Because a lot of men in the house usually feel that why is the woman in the front, the male ego comes up. So does this come? I'm sure no, but how? How does it not come? I want to know that.
I don't know. I think it's just the opposite for me. I can't understand it. Like the fact that my wife is so amazing and so awesome is like a huge point of pride for me. Like, I won't tell everyone. So it's like I can't understand. Like for me, I've never had that problem. I think the key is if your life I think is going bad, then I think a lot of men feel insecure about it. What have I? Yeah, I have not had a great career of then sometimes maybe that people would have that, but I guess maybe I've sort of never had that problem. I think also I aspire to something very different. I would not want to be in the limelight like she does. I'm more than happy to be in sort of behind the throne. There's more room for it. It's very nice.
I think he also has always seen very powerful women in the family. His mother's a doctor, his grandmother ran the entire hospital. So I think he comes from a family of strong women.
Right. So you both have the same kind of routine where you end your day with journaling, meditation.
I am not very good at meditating. I go to sleep. But no, we both try and work out, or just spend some time in nature. Or I enjoy just going and checking out the plants and how they're doing. Or eventually watching a show.
So this is like if you get any new ideas and new breakthroughs in the existing thing, what's your one thing? I'm sure you must be locking yourself out.
The shower.
Shower.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I think you just also change from like a 6-day work week to a 5-day work week. I think it's just it's so important for you, as a founder also, as a team, to get that sort of mental break, and then suddenly you come back a lot more refreshed and energized. If you're really overworking yourself, you're doing injustice to yourself and the company. You're not going to be able to give it 100%. Like the 12-hour days and the 18-hour work days, I think people really glorify a lot of that. It's counterproductive, and I think if you're just it's you're not working smart.
Absolutely. I think I'm just enjoying talking to you all and knowing things, but I know I have time constraint. But thank you so much for your time. These things were not there in the question answer, but I just felt that the things that people should know. And you guys are those, the yin and yang of everything. So I think you guys are that. One takes care of the other, and both strengths are equally important for the organization. So thank you so much for your time. We've been, looking forward to this conversation. Long time, but thank you so much, and yeah, all the best. And let's stay in touch and change the world together.
Thank you so much. It was a delightful chat. I think we truly enjoyed talking to you.
And I want to hear about how the hustle that you show in your business.
Yeah. So commendable.
Thank you. And we'll have another chat on that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to be interviewing her soon. I need to create my own podcast.
All the best for everything what you're doing. And please don't stop creating an impact in people's lives and on the environment. I think we need people like you. Thank you so much.